I want you to do something right now. Just swallow once and notice exactly what you feel at the back of your throat. Is there a certain something there? A coating that simply will not go away no matter how many times you clear your throat this morning? Now, think about this. You have probably been clearing your throat dozens of times every single day. If I ask you when it started, you might not even have a clear answer. It crept up on you slowly, first just in the mornings, then all day long, and now it is just a part of your life. You carry water everywhere, you avoid certain foods, and you have probably tried every home remedy suggested to you. Yet, here you are. Here is what I need you to hear. That sensation is not random. It is not simply your age catching up with you. Your body does nothing randomly. Every persistent symptom is its way of communicating something specific. The question is whether you know how to listen. Today, I am going to teach you how, because in my experience focusing on preventative health for older adults, I have seen this particular symptom misunderstood and mismanaged more than almost any other. People are handed lozenges or told to drink more water, and the actual cause, sitting quietly underneath, never gets addressed. Today, we are going to change that. I am going to walk you through 5 specific, research-supported reasons for persistent throat coating in adults over 55. And I'm going to share which 2 of these factors are almost certainly working together in your body right now, and how that combination makes everything dramatically more noticeable. My name is Dr. Franklin, and my commitment to this community is always the same. Plain language, real research, and practical steps you can start using tonight. Starting with the piece of biology that changes everything about how you understand this problem. Your body produces natural coating every single day, nonstop, around the clock, and that is completely normal and healthy. It is your body's protective layer for your airways, designed to keep the delicate lining of your throat moist and resilient. It is not the presence of this coating that is the issue. The problem is what happens to it as we get older. There is a system in your body responsible for keeping this layer thin and moving. Studies confirm that as we age, the tiny hair-like structures that sweep this coating upward and outward begin to slow down. The result is that a layer that would have been cleared in seconds at age 40 can pool and accumulate for hours at age 65 or 70. What this means practically is that any factor pushing your body toward excess production will affect an older adult much more than a younger person. Understanding this physiology is the foundation of everything we are going to talk about today. With that context, here are the 5 primary factors. The first factor is one I want you to pay very close attention to, as it is the most frequently missed explanation for this age group. It is sometimes referred to as silent reflux. Many people are familiar with classic acid reflux, that burning sensation in the chest. But there is a quieter, more deceptive version, one with no obvious digestive discomfort whatsoever, just a throat that will not settle down. Here is what happens. As we age, the valve at the top of the stomach can gradually lose its tone. When it does not close completely, stomach acid makes its way upward, reaching the delicate tissues of your throat. These tissues are not built to handle acid, so even the smallest trace triggers an immediate protective response. Your body rushes to produce a thick coating to protect that irritated tissue. When this happens night after night while you sleep, you wake up every single morning with that familiar heaviness at the back of your throat, with no idea why. Research shows that up to half of the individuals with this pattern report no heartburn at all, just chronic throat clearing and a voice that sounds rough in the mornings. Ask yourself, is your throat significantly worse in the morning? Does it intensify when you bend forward? These are the fingerprints of silent reflux. The second factor often arrives quietly and goes unnoticed. While some sinus problems are quite dramatic, with intense pressure and blockages, chronic sinus irritation in adults over 55 often presents almost invisibly. Breathing feels mostly fine, yet the sinuses, mildly swollen and producing slightly more than normal, are draining steadily down the back of the throat all day long. A 2024 study confirmed that the average age for individuals experiencing this pattern is exactly 55. Antihistamines may dry this coating temporarily, but they do nothing for the underlying irritation inside the sinuses. The approach with the most consistent research support is something very simple and affordable: regular nasal rinsing using a warm saline solution. This practice works by physically removing the excess coating, reducing swelling, and supporting your system's natural clearance function, the very system that declines with age. Daily practice produces cumulative, meaningful improvement. The third factor involves something that causes the most surprise when I bring it up. The medications you take faithfully every day are often not something you think to question. There is a very common class of blood pressure medications called ACE inhibitors. While effective and serve an important purpose, they carry a recognized side effect that the research documents clearly. They can allow a certain substance to accumulate in the body, which for many individuals triggers persistent throat irritation and an ongoing urge to clear the throat. This is simply how the drug works. It is not an allergy. The side effect can take weeks or even months to develop after starting the medication, so you may never have connected the two events. A large-scale study found that adults over 65 had a 53% higher chance of experiencing this throat side effect compared to younger users. If you are unsure whether your medication belongs to this class, your pharmacist can tell you in under a minute. The fourth factor is dismissed as too obvious to matter: hydration. But let me give you the physiology. Your body's natural coating is mostly water. Its consistency, whether it is thin and fluid or thick and sticky, is directly related to how well hydrated the surrounding tissue is. Think of maple syrup fresh from the bottle versus maple syrup that has been sitting open overnight. It is the same substance with completely different behavior. Research has established clearly that the thirst mechanism becomes significantly less reliable as we age. In older adults, the early warning system is blunted. You can be dehydrated enough to noticeably affect your throat's comfort without feeling particularly thirsty at all. A mildly dehydrated state keeps your coating persistently thick and sticky, amplifying everything else we have discussed. The fifth cause is one that rarely gets discussed, and that is a significant gap, because the root of the problem is often in the gut. Your digestive tract and your respiratory system share regulatory pathways. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have confirmed that a disruption in the gut microbiome can activate immune responses that promote excess production in the airways. Not because there is anything physically wrong with your throat, but because the gut is sending inflammatory signals that the respiratory system responds to. This connection, sometimes called the gut-lung axis, is an active area of clinical research. Animal model studies have gone further, demonstrating a direct causal link between gut health and what happens in your airways. You will not address a gut-airway axis problem with a throat lozenge, but you can begin supporting your gut microbiome through consistent daily choices. Before I share the full action plan, I must take a moment for something genuinely important. While most persistent throat coating in older adults is benign and manageable, your body sometimes uses symptoms to signal something that requires professional attention. Please make an appointment with your professional guide promptly if you notice any of the following. The coating is consistently tinged with blood, difficulty swallowing that is gradually getting worse, unexplained weight loss, a lump in your neck, or a significant voice change that is not improving over time. These signs require professional guidance. Now for the action plan. Practical steps you can take starting tonight. First, stop consuming anything at least 3 full hours before you lie down for the night, as this reduces the likelihood of silent reflux. Second, elevate the head of your bed slightly with a firm wedge under the mattress. A few centimeters of incline uses gravity to your advantage and meaningfully reduces acid travel. Third, rehydrate your body immediately upon waking by drinking 1 to 2 glasses of plain warm water. This is one of the most consistently reported impactful changes. Fourth, use a nasal rinsing device daily with warm saline solution to physically clear the airways and support natural clearance. Fifth, make an appointment specifically to review your medication list, noting when your throat symptoms began in relation to any medication changes. To support the gut-airway connection, add a small daily serving of a fermented option to your routine, such as plain yogurt with live cultures. and ensure you are getting adequate fiber. Finally, set reminders for deliberate, consistent hydration throughout the day. Your throat will thank you within days. That persistent coating has a reason, perhaps one of the 5 possibilities we discussed today: silent reflux, chronic sinus irritation, medication side effects, chronic mild dehydration, or gut microbiome disruption. None of these require you to simply accept a life of constant throat clearing. Each one has a practical, evidence-grounded response. If someone has told you that this is just part of getting older, I hope today gave you a different lens, because you are not just aging. You are dealing with specific, identifiable physiology, and you deserve to know that. If this conversation gave you something genuinely useful, would you consider sharing it with one person who might be quietly dealing with the same problem? That one share could genuinely shift how that person understands their own body. I look forward to reading your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Thank you for your time. Stay observant, stay well, and I will see you in our next video.